Good morning and welcome back to The Point for Wednesday, August 2nd. It's another beautiful day here in Pittsburgh as U.S. futures continue to push higher after yesterday saw modest gains that pushed stocks toward all-time highs as corporate earnings continue strong performance. Apple reported after market close yesterday and is on course for a record high as shares bounced over 6% following the news. The biggest contributor to the spike was anticipation of their upcoming quarter that will see around $50 billion in revenue and 3 new handsets delivered to customers, including the iPhone 8. Some not-so-good news struck the auto industry, however, as yesterday's sales reports saw major declines. GM sales dropped 15%, while Ford, Fiat Chrysler, and Hyundai Kia also saw big losses. Toyota was the only company with a positive change as customers have flocked to their new RAV4. Tesla's longtime battery technology director is leaving the company after joining in 2006. His exit couldn't come at a more crucial time as the company dives into the mass production market as they report earnings today. The Stoxx Europe 600 index dipped 0.2% this morning as most industrial metals traded lower while banks also saw declines. Australia dropped 0.5% while Asian markets were mixed, led by a gain in Japan's Topix index, which gained 0.4% with help from Honda's higher profit forecast. Hong Kong and Korea were both 0.2% higher, while Shanghai struggled to find a direction. Bonds were also mixed, with 10-year treasuries advancing 1 basis point to 2.27%, while Germany's 10-year yield declined below the 0.5% line, which is its lowest in almost 4 weeks. Crude oil dipped below $50 per barrel as OPEC continues to struggle with supply. Libya brings a headache as shipments from the country reached a 3-year high, while Nigeria also increased production. And 4 of the largest shale drillers in the U.S. claim they are not backing down from a high production target for this year. Yields on Venezuelan state oil company bonds rose to over 150% as investors unload debt amid political chaos. The arrest of opposition leaders and U.S. sanctions have pushed the nation's finances to the brink. Other commodities remained quiet as gold and copper both fell 0.1%. The U.S. dollar continues to struggle as the euro reached a 2.5-year high against the currency, led by sustained interest rate differentials, while investors are losing faith in Trump's spending plans. And the pound pushed 0.3% higher to its strongest in more than 10 months, while the yen saw an opposite result, falling 0.3% lower. British banks reported weak earnings as shares in Commerce Bank dropped almost 2%, while Standard Chartered lost more than 5%. Moody's, however, raised their outlook on UK banks from negative to stable, claiming they're now better suited to withstand a slowing economy. Private employment will be reported in the U.S. today, which could provide more clues about the direction of the economy while we await jobs data to be released on Friday. Also on the wait list comes the Bank of England's inflation report on Thursday, which may signal a more hawkish tone, while rates are expected to be kept on hold. In Brazil's Congress will vote today whether to put President Michel Temer on trial. So obviously we're going to wait for employment data to come out this morning, along with jobs data later this week to give us some more direction on where this economy is heading. But I think a lot of big news came out of the auto industry yesterday, where we saw some really terrible earnings reports. I mean, GM dropped 15%, and all these other companies dropped. Toyota was the only one in the green. Questions are being raised as to why this is happening. I mean, over the past 20 years, the number of licensed drivers is up about 2 million people per year, while the number of registered vehicles is up about $3 million per year. And they claim that Uber and Lyft aren't really putting much of a dent in that. Obviously, electric cars like Tesla and such are entering the market, which may make a small impact, but one of the big things that are happening are less cars are being sent to the junkyards. Less cars are being scrapped each year, so they say therefore less cars are coming off the lot as people really don't see need to continue to buy new cars while they're keeping their old ones. You know, they're becoming expensive and they're being more difficult to buy. So we will continue to see what happens there, especially with Tesla's earnings reports today. They're up on a big schedule this week. A lot of big things happening at Tesla. And as we look into the sports world, we really see nothing going on. The Bucks were killed last night 9-1 by the Reds as the Cubs went on to win. So we now find ourselves 6.5 games behind first place. So that's seemingly becoming a little out of reach. Steph Curry begins his golf career tomorrow at the Ellie Mae Classic of the Web.com Tour, where he sets his goals to make the cut, which comes in at a plus 1,500 bet, while the WGC Bridgestone also begins tomorrow in Akron. And the Cowboys are facing another fine this year because of the NFL's policy due to the number of suspended players, which seems to be a bit of a recurring theme down there in Dallas. And that is it for us today. It is The Point on Wednesday, August 2nd, and we will see you tomorrow.